Talking about promoting, Abdullattif, I want to ask you about the role of the press here. The role of, you are working in media, you have started radio stations, TV stations, and now you're in social media. Where do you think the responsibility of media lies in here, in creating winners and shedding the light on them?
Well, I think being the only Emirati on the panel, Habib, if you allow me, I'll break the norm.
Badr is next to you.
Or in Kandora, yeah. Okay. Let me give you basically a complete new angle, and this is something we witness almost every day by being in the field. Now, what's happening as a result of, and since this session was very much driven by media and social media and all the new tools which is being used by the startups, what's happening is not only technology what we need to start focusing on, but also individuals who are being a result or a product out of this technology. Very quick example here. 5 years back, you go and you sit with a client, he tells you this is the media plan, and he starts listing the mediums. Now you go and you sit with the same client, he starts mentioning individuals' name. So this will take me again to a different angle, probably, or a space which no one has thought about before. Invest
We're going to see potentially even more winners in the society, from a different kind of winners as well in here.
Well, absolutely. I think it's happening almost every day. It's just that the calculation of media and the power of media, the penetration versus basically all the new mediums, which is allowing individuals now to talk to New York, London, Paris, Frankfurt, wherever you want, and convey whatever messages you want. So it's also, it shows,
Yeah, I mean, this is actually how I got to meet Fadi. I remember I emailed them on LinkedIn 5-6 years ago.
I'm recruiting
how
in Jordan next week. I
Right.
have 35 people. They all came through LinkedIn. And I used to spend probably hundreds of thousands for recruitment agencies to start sourcing this talent.
So Abdullatif,
It's-
let me ask you another question. You've built, again, radio station and a few social media companies, and I've listened to one of your talks on YouTube, again, one of the new medias, and you talked about how fast you were able to build those. Tell me a bit about the speed and the need for speed in the new generation of winners.
Well, I think, you know, we started moving from keyboards now to stretching and using the 2 fingers, and we can see how kids are playing with these new devices. Speed is going to be something I think is going to leave a lot of players behind, a lot of individuals behind as well. We are talking about real time. Crisis management with a new definition is completely a different ball game. I think as a result of this, you're going to start seeing a lot of companies going to be out of business very soon. We started seeing this. I think the educational institute, they have to play a big role here. And I always have an argument that academic, unfortunately, they should not start teaching our kids the new medium. You know, every 6 months, you need an update. Otherwise, you are out of, and forgive me, I have to be very transparent here. Every 6 months, you need to update the curriculum. Otherwise, it's not valid. It's a waste of time. You're not gonna, I meet new kids graduating from universities every day. They can't do the job we require today. You know, whatever happened over the past 4 years, not everything, but most of it was a waste of time. So there is a huge shift even in the way we think about everything that contributes to this new way of thinking about media.
Right. I want to ask a question to Abdullatif. You're from the Emirates, where it is. I mean, we can't deny the fact that there are safety nets provided to the people by the governments here. Are safety nets something that could push for winners, or are they bad for creating the next generation of winners, from your own experience?
Hello.
Check. Well, I think, of course, it's always good, you know. We are in a very stable business environment. I think the government, and we saw how the government basically stepped in during the crisis, gave that sort of security to all the business owners, especially SMEs. So I think this is something will always continue, and the UAE will be a great platform for SMEs to come and establish their businesses. And we started seeing probably a lot of businesses going from here. Just falafel, it's probably is one great example. I see them almost every day during every event. As an Emirati, I feel so proud to see, you know, a brand from the UAE now opening in London and Tokyo and elsewhere in the world.
That's different. We're not talking about the economic situation in the Emirates. We're talking about the people themselves feeling it's okay for them to fail because they're going to catch caught up by the government. Is that something, I mean, do we think that entrepreneurs are hungry, or do we think that entrepreneurs...
Well, I'll tell you, if you talk to me as an Emirati,
Yes.
Somehow I might be in an agreement with you, but I think we should not, seriously, we have a bigger responsibilities as Emiratis. Although the government might step in, the government might always support us, we have various funding coming from the government, but that should never be a reason for us to basically start a business or win. As Emiratis, I think we have even bigger responsibilities toward our nation, toward our countries, toward even other nationalities. We need to start working harder. We start proving ourselves that, you know what, if we don't want to do it for our nation, it shouldn't only be driven financially, but should be driven through that this is something that I should do for my country. And I believe we have a complete new generation of Emiratis now who are basically thinking toward, you know, basically not counting on the government. I'll give you a small example here. We started our business 3 years back when almost every media company was shutting down. And I had opportunities from Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid establishment, Abdullatif, if you want financial funding, we are ready to give. I said, no. I said, we want to go and try to do it with our own money. And if we cannot do it, then it means we cannot go beyond the Emirates. Then it means how I'm going to survive in Saudi tomorrow. How I'm going to survive if I go to New York, to London, to Paris. If you have a big dream, then you start counting less on the government support, the government fund. Of course, there are a lot of laws, regulation, which can help you like every other country, but it shouldn't be beyond that.